Hi. So, it's been a while. Welcome back if you're not new to my channel. If you're new to my channel, hi. So the reason why I was kind of like AFK for quite some time was because during the months of August to August to end of December, I was doing the Disney College program. And that's what this video is about. I'm not going to do this whole entire SAP story about why I left the Disney College program. I'm just basically going to give it to you kind of like short, sweet, to the point. Now, just a quick disclaimer before I get started. I don't speak for the brand nor the company, and I really want to work for Disney, any Disney property, subsidiary, sister company, whatever. I really want to work for Disney in the future, so this is not a diss track towards Disney. This is just my own personal experience and why I left the Disney College program. So my program dates were August 30th through January 20th, but I decided to leave the Disney College program January 1st, 2022, so the very first day of the year. So I mainly quit the program basically because I felt like my needs weren't being met as a cast member and as just a person within the company. You know, I was working like ridiculous hours. I was working anywhere up to like 66-hour work weeks, working like 12 to 14-hour shifts a day, overtime not included within that time frame. So that was just mentally, physically, and emotionally draining. By the time that I was like halfway through my program, I was already burnt out, but I decided to kind of push through and kind of sort of finish my program because I was like, well, I'm already here, why not? Within that whole working 66-hour work week thing was just the fact that like you can literally work 364 days out of the year, but the one day you ask off, they're kind of fishy about it and they're kind of like beating around the bush. And so it was so frustrating whenever, you know, I worked like maybe like 10, 11, 12 days in a row, and I asked for like one day off as a mental health day, and they were just like really fishy about giving it to me, kind of like, oh, but do you really need a mental health day? Oh, like, are you sure do you need that day? Oh, like, can't you just, you know, just come in and like, you know, take a Tylenol or something? And it wasn't just the whole thing of like, oh, I'll take a Tylenol, I'll be fine. It was more just of like, I need a day to breathe, because like, you know, it was so frustrating getting up every morning, getting ready for work, being at work, coming home, taking a shower, going to bed, rinse and repeat for 12 days straight, and it was so exhausting. And also just the fact that, you know, they would expect you to come back with feedback and be like, oh my gosh, I'm having so much fun and I'm doing this and this and this, but in reality they wouldn't even give you enough perks to really enjoy your program. For example, this was back in like December, they had a college program appreciation night, which we had the entirety of Animal Kingdom to ourselves. And the thing that I really thought was bogus was the fact that, you know, you have a college program appreciation night to where you expect like all the college program kids to show up, but then you schedule the college program kids that work at Animal Kingdom on that shift, so therefore they miss the entirety of that appreciation night because they're working the appreciation night. And then on top of that, just the fact that, you know, here we are away from home during the holidays, missing our friends, our families, holidays, traditions, stuff like that, to come work at Disney and make that magic for other guests who are there for that holiday. But we don't get holiday pay for it. You know, we get the holiday hours, like they'll stack hours onto you, but they won't give you holiday pay. And so that's the thing that really got me, because when I found out that like my regular like part-time, full-time seasonal cast members were getting holiday pay for those hours and I wasn't, because I was a college program participant, it honestly felt extremely unfair, because I'm like, wait a minute, so like, why are you paying them holiday pay but not giving them the holiday hours, but pushing all the hours onto college program kids but not giving us holiday pay? The other thing that really like probably pushed me to the edge that day where I decided to like quit in general was just the way that guests treat you. It's a lot of the entitlement. A lot of guests come to the parks feeling entitled, like they're supposed to get free stuff simply for being there, or you're supposed to treat them a certain way simply because they're a guest. And yeah, there's a level of expectation when you come to the parks, like, you know, hey, like, oh, like when I come to the Disney parks or any Disney property, I'm going to be treated like royalty because I'm a guest, right? There's like kind of sort of that fairy tale kind of thing there, but at the same time, you're still human, we're still human, we still expect you as a guest to treat us with respect and human decency, and you'll get the same thing back. And the thing is, like, cast members don't mind making magic for guests who really deserve it, or just in general. Like, there's been times where I've made magic for guests simply because they were nice to me. They're the very first guest to be nice to me the entire day. And then there were guests that I made magic for because, you know, maybe within a conversation with them while cleaning their table, I found out that, you know, they had saved up for years to come here, and, you know, a family member had cancer, so now this is their special trip. You know, so there was times where I made big magic for guests because of those reasons, and then there were times where I made magic because I just wanted to. But there would be times where I was berated by guests, I was called racial slurs by guests, I was cursed at by guests, I've had things thrown at me. I actually, no, it was one of my cast members, one of my fellow cast members actually got grabbed, like full on, like grabbed like this. And that was terrifying. And so, you know, getting berated by guests on a daily basis, like minute by minute, guest after guest, especially when I worked the very first day of the 50th anniversary. I worked the very first day of the 50th anniversary, which is like the big, you know, event. And it was a total nightmare. Like, that was, I was having like work nightmares literally for like 2 weeks after that, because I was having things thrown at me, I was having guests yell at me, I was having people bark like things at me from all directions. There were times where I even literally had to like kind of like raise my voice and be like, okay, hey, one at a time, what can I help you with? Great. What can I help you with? Great. Like, it was literally so stressful. October 1st, there were multiple times where I saw cast members of mine going into the walk-in freezer to go cry. That's how stressful October 1st was. But yeah, like, guests just treat you any old sort of way. I've also been pushed by guests. There's one time I got pushed by a guest simply because I was in her way when I was taking out the trash, and I offered her an extra entrance. I was like, oh, like, there's another entrance right there. I'll be 1 minute. I'm almost done taking out the trash. And she literally, like, pushed me and my trash cart out of the way. She was like, well, my food's getting cold. And she just, like, walked off, and the woman was too stunned to speak. But yeah, just that on top of that, and then you would go to like a coordinator or leader and say, hey, like, I got pushed by a guest, or I got cursed out by a guest, and most of the time I was met with like, oh, okay, well, it happens, and then just like brush it off. You know, instead of having somebody to come and vent to, or maybe even just file a report if it got serious enough, you know, I was just met with a lot of just like dismissive kind of behavior, just kind of like, oh, it happens, get used to it, boo-hoo, go back out there kind of thing. And so that was very frustrating as well. Also, the point system. And that kind of leads me into my next point, and why I left the college program, is they don't tell you a lot of stuff and then get mad at you because you don't know. There were a lot of times where I had gotten in trouble for stuff that I didn't know I could get in trouble for. And when I told them, I'm like, well, I was never told this. They're like, oh, well, now you know. So there was like no grace period. There was no leeway or anything. It was just like, oh, you didn't know that, you got in trouble for it. Okay, sucks to be you. But anyway, here's your point, or here's your reprimand. And it's like, okay, well, can I get like kind of some amnesty? Because I didn't know. I just genuinely didn't know. And lastly, I felt like I wasn't supported by most of my coordinators and leaders. Like, I had came to one of my coordinators and I was like, hey, like, this is everything that's gone wrong today, and just mentally I'm not doing okay today. I just need today off. And she like sat me down, and she just like pretty much made things worse, and being like, oh, well, you're complaining about this, but I have 6 kids and I work overtime and I do this and this and this. I've never taken a single day off and you're complaining. And so she just literally made things worse. And then like another coworker came in and pretty much did the same thing, backing her up and being like, oh, you're complaining about nothing. And, you know, to the point where I was like, all right, I'm out of here. And I just left. So yeah, it's tough out there for college program kids, but basically, if things just would have been better, I would have really enjoyed my program tenfold. But yeah, I'm glad that my program has been over for 6 months now, and I have the memories, at least the good memories, to live my program off of. But yeah, if you guys have any questions about the Disney College program, whether you are thinking about doing it, whether you're doing it and you're just waiting for your arrival date, or whether you are a DCP alumni and you just want to talk, I'm always here in the comments, on social media, everything will be in the description below. I would love to talk about college program stuff more because, in all honesty, it is a good program. It's fun. You're gonna have so much fun and make a lot of memories. It's just, yeah. Alright, well, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.